Hey guys, so this is a video covering subject-verb agreements. Basically what this is mostly going to be about is making sure that if your subject is singular, your verb is singular, and if your subject is plural, your verb is plural. And that's not a super difficult thing for us about 95% of the time. Most of subject-verb agreement is stuff that you learned when you were like 4 years old, and you probably haven't messed up most of it since then. There are a bunch of like finicky little rules when it comes to subject-verb agreement, though, that you might even be a little bit surprised by. So we're going to go through that right now. If you want to take notes and pause the video, or you want to just see this PowerPoint on its own, I'm going to include that in the assignment as well. So let's go ahead and go through it. Yeah, most subject-verb agreement is kind of like this example here. The big dog run. Nobody would ever say that, right? You'd know that the big dog runs. If the end of your subject is singular, and it doesn't have an S, then the end of your verb is also singular and it should have an S, and vice versa. Alright. Yeah, so general rule, the most important point to remember is that the noun or pronoun subject of a sentence must agree in number with the verb. If the subject is singular, then the verb must be singular. If the subject is plural, the verb must be plural. Okay. So, in many cases, a singular noun will not end in S, but a singular verb will end in S. This isn't all the time, but most of the time that's true. Most often, a plural noun will end in S, and a plural verb will not end in S. So, the dog runs. Singular noun doesn't end in S. Singular verb does. Dog, singular noun, no S. Runs, singular verb. The dogs run. Plural nouns, dogs, ends in S. Plural verb doesn't end in S, run. So here's some examples of that. If you got confused by my example right there. The wise student studies, singular student, studies, singular rather. The wise students study. Students, plural, multiple students, study, plural verb. The sly politician lies, politician, singular, lies, singular. The sly politicians lie. Plural politicians, multiple politicians, lie, plural verb. Okay. So, which verb agrees with the subject? Mr. Graves, the guy that invented this PowerPoint, often show or shows cartoons in class. Mr. Grave often show or shows cartoons in class. Obviously, Mr. Graves often shows cartoons in class, because there's only one Mr. Graves, and he shows cartoons. Shows. So, now it starts to get tricky. Guideline number 2. A subject may never be an object of a preposition. Sometimes a prepositional phrase comes between a subject and a verb. When this happens, it can get confusing as to which noun the verb is attached to, but always keep in mind which one goes with which one. Here's an example. The carnival, singular noun, with its dangerous rides and foods, attracts large crowds to the Walmart parking lot. The carnival, singular, attracts large crowds. An easy way to figure out if this is happening in a sentence is try to take out all of the extra words. You don't need to know about the dangerous rides and foods to make this sentence make sense. You don't need even to know about the Walmart parking lot for it to make sense. You can cut this down to the carnival attracts, and then it makes sense. But if you think it's the foods that are attracting it, foods would be plural, but carnival is the subject of this sentence, and carnival is singular. Yeah, and that's what it says right here. Among the distinguished guests was or were Lady Gaga. So there are many different guests, and you might think that it was were. If we said the distinguished guests were watching Lady Gaga, then the guests would be the subject of the sentence, and that's a plural noun. But Lady Gaga is a singular person, and so if we were saying that Lady Gaga was among the guests, we would use was. We can shift the order around in the sentence, too, to make it make sense. We can say, Lady Gaga was among the distinguished guests, and it would make more sense. Okay. Uncle Gus, with his elaborate network of whiskers, has or have a great personality. So this is an example of the same thing. Uncle Gus is a singular noun. Whiskers is a plural noun. So if we said that his whiskers had a great personality, we would say his elaborate network of whiskers has a great If we said the whiskers had a great personality, we would say have here. But if we say Uncle Gus has a great personality, we would say has here. Alright. Yeah, Uncle Gus is the subject, and he has a great personality. Number 3. Compound subjects, more than one noun or pronoun joined by and, usually take the plural form of the verb, because and combines singular nouns into plural ones. So, a decorative ashtray and a lava lamp make perfect gifts for Valentine's Day. If we said a lava lamp makes a perfect gift for Valentine's Day, then it would be singular. We would say makes. But since we're combining them, if we're saying a decorative ashtray and a lava lamp, then they are a plural then, and they make perfect gifts for Valentine's Day. Mr. Rogers and Captain Kangaroo happen or happens to be some of my favorite childhood memories. Sentence kind of gives it away here. But Mr. Rogers and Captain Kangaroo collectively are a plural noun, and they happen to be some of my favorite childhood memories. We would also say Mr. Rogers happens to be one of my childhood memories. But if they're together, then they happen to be. Yeah. Watched Mr. Rogers, never watched Captain Kangaroo. Be careful with collective nouns as subjects. So this is anytime that you have a noun where it's sounds like it's talking about a group of things, but it's actually a singular thing. So the example it gives here, Franks and beans is or are a favorite meal of the wealthy. That's not true. The Franks and beans is a struggle meal. But you heard it just how I said it right then. Franks and beans on their own are plural. Multiple Franks, multiple beans. But together, they are a dish that is singular. And so you would use is. So like chicken and waffles is my favorite food. Spaghetti and meatballs is delicious. In those cases, you are That's just several words for one thing. Yeah, Franks and beans is. Guideline number 4. Compound subjects joined by or nor take the form of the verb that agrees with the closest subject word to the verb, or separates those subjects into separate subjects. So, you know how we said Mr. Rogers and Captain Kangaroo, together those would be plural, but if we said Mr. Rogers or Captain Kangaroo, we're separating those out and making them singular. And nor works the same way. Las Vegas Showgirls or an Elvis Las Vegas Showgirls or an Elvis impersonator add or adds a finishing touch to a nice wedding. Again, this is separating these two out with the word or, and so we go with the closest one to the verb. So we're just we could cut the rest of this part out and we could just say Elvis impersonator, an Elvis impersonator adds a finishing touch to the nice wedding. We could ignore this part altogether because of the word or. If we said Vegas Showgirls and an Elvis impersonator, we would say add. If we said Elvis impersonators and Vegas Showgirls, we would say add again, because the Vegas Showgirls are plural. But because Elvis impersonator is right here and we're using the word or, then it's adds. Which verb agrees with the subject? A smile or a frown makes or make for an interesting mugshot. If we said a smile and a frown together, they would make for an interesting mugshot. But a smile or a frown makes for an interesting mugshot. And again, because or is here, easy way to figure this out is just cross out the beginning of this sentence and just say a frown makes for an interesting mugshot. All right. Yeah, frown makes for an interesting mugshot. Singular verb makes agrees with the subject, a smile or a frown. I think this is the last one. Guideline number 5. Remember that certain indefinite pronouns, we'll cover those next, are singular, even though they may seem plural. They must take singular verbs. They must take singular verbs. Watch for singular pronouns like everyone, everybody, no one, nobody, each, either, none, and neither. So yeah, watch out for those. All of those are singular. Some of them don't seem singular, but you'll end up normally using these correctly anyway. Each of the wrestlers takes ballet lessons. So in this case, because we put the word each here, we're taking wrestlers, which is plural, dividing it up into singular, and we're using the word takes. It would be the same as saying the wrestler takes ballet lessons. Either of the essay assignments offer or offers a great opportunity for fun. Because we're using either here, we're dividing the assignments, which is plural, into singular assignments, and either one of them offers a great opportunity of fun. Again, you could just make it the essay assignment offers a great opportunity for fun, because we're dividing it up with either here. Which verb agrees with the subject? Neither of the dogs was or were pleased with the grooming. Again, neither divides the plural dogs into singular dogs, and we could just say the dog, and that would help us figure out which verb to use. Neither of the dogs was pleased with the grooming. There's a lot going on with these dogs here. Alright, guys. So, I hope that you understood all of that very clearly. Now that you're finished with this, you're going to want to go to the assignment here and do, let me see real quick. You're going to want to do the one that goes with subject-verb agreement. Fill out all of those, and turn that in, and then move on to the one about pronouns. I'll make a different video for the pronouns one. Okay, have a good time with all of those. See you in the next video.